my name's Kathleen Wan and I'm from Singapore Chinese Girls' School Secondary. I've been attending Chinese classes here for 5 years, so since primary 6, and my main 老师 is Lin Ping 老师. Definitely Chinese was one of my weakest subjects because I don't really speak the language normally in my life. Definitely a challenge for me to do the written papers and my oral components as well. I found myself not really scoring that high because I didn't know what concepts to use or how to really write effectively or speak effectively. But I think after coming to Erya, it has helped me grow a lot in how I speak the language, how I write with it, and how I'm able to think better in Chinese as well. I got A2 for Chinese and distinction for oral. I was definitely very shocked with my results as previously I hadn't done as well for my exam, and so when I saw the results I got for my O-levels, it was genuinely a very big surprise and I was very happy about it. As I was on the way home, I was calling my parents and then they were so in shock that I got A2 for Chinese because we didn't expect it at all. But I think a lot of it was thanks to Erya's tuition because I came here every Saturday and we were doing a lot of revision, we were doing a lot of practice. Even though I may not have felt it, I think it helped a lot when I did the actual exam and it shows in my results. I think there's two very memorable things from my lessons at Erya. So one of them is when it was around Chinese New Year, if I'm not wrong, then Lin Lao Shi brought us pieces of red paper to do cutouts for Chinese New Year. And it was very interesting because she was telling us all about the fun facts and how it relates to the celebrations of Chinese New Year. And it was a lot of things that I didn't know, and it was things that was spoken in Chinese, so I could add that to my Chinese knowledge as well. And at the end of the lesson, we all got to take home these beautiful pieces of artwork, which I really enjoyed. And something else that happened quite often was that during our lessons, Lao Shi would bring us food to keep us motivated. So sometimes other parents gave her cake or different snacks or sweets, or if she'd just gone back to China, she would always buy us different candies to let us try. And I think it really kept us motivated during the lessons because sometimes Chinese can get hard, but she always knows how to take care of us well. I think something that Erya taught me was how to think through my points clearly, especially in Chinese, because before this, how I learned Chinese was that I would always think of it in English and then translate in my head. But then Lin Lao Shi reminded me that I can't do that. If not, I'll just be translating instead of actually being able to answer the question properly. So one thing that Erya taught me was how to think my answers to in Chinese so that I'll be able to better answer the question more directly. I think for school, when we did practices, we relied, even though our teachers were there to help, it was a lot of self-marking and it was a lot of practicing with our peers. But then in Erya, because we were able to practice directly with our Lao Shi and we had the chance to get our work marked by her and she could give us direct feedback, I think it was a lot more personalized and it gave us the chance to work on our individual weaknesses better. So as I mentioned, I joined Erya in P6, around P6. For my P6 classes, it was online classes for composition. I think one thing that I noticed that changed was, as you said, my confidence in doing the exam, because before that I was always very afraid of taking Chinese because it wasn't a subject that I was strong at. But I think Erya helped me get a more positive attitude towards the subject. I think that helped in my grades. Yeah, I would definitely recommend Erya because it has really helped me grow a lot in my Chinese language skills. And also I think the environment here is very warm. The teachers are super duper friendly. They are always very kind, willing to help you. If you have any questions, you can just message them. And even the other staff around here are very friendly. Every time I walk into the center, the receptionists are always smiling and waving at us, and they're always talking to us, and it's a very nice environment to study in. If you're considering to enroll into Erya, that's really great because it's a great tuition center. But I think also something that I wish I did a bit more often was that after each lessons to take the time to collate everything that you learned, because during the lessons you learn a lot of information and a lot of skills and more. So I think taking the time to like collate everything, maybe write it down in a notebook, like the words that you learned that day, and being able to look back on it and test yourself again so that you won't forget it as easily. Good luck, it won't be easy, but push through and you got this. Thank you to all the teachers who have ever taught me in Erya, especially Lin Ping Lao Shi. I think you've made a huge difference in my Chinese learning journey, and I'm so grateful. Thank you! I think all in all, my journey at Erya has been very fulfilling. At the start, I went in feeling not that confident about my Chinese, but I think like the last time I stepped out of this tuition center, there's a mixed feeling of happiness and sadness. Happiness because of how much I learned and taken away from this and all the experiences I've had here. But also sadness because I was leaving this center and knowing that I won't be able to experience the same kind of teachers because it's very hard to get elsewhere.
Okay.